National Treasury maintains that there is no cause for alarm over a possible fuel shortage despite the ongoing conflict in the Middle East. Appearing before the National Assembly Committee on Finance and Planning, Treasury Cabinet Secretary John Mbadi assured the country that existing stocks and government interventions will shield consumers from immediate shocks. Our Petroleum Outlets Association of Kenya warns that underlying pricing and supply challenges at the retail level could still trigger disruptions if not urgently addressed. NTV's Victor Ngaruya tells us more.
Today is 2nd of April. They are docking today.
Before the National Assembly Committee on Finance and Planning, the National Treasury this Thursday painted a picture of short-term stability, even as global uncertainty deepens in regards to fuel supply in the country. Cabinet Secretary John Mbadi says the country is adequately supplied with petroleum products for now. As of March 30th, 2026, the country held 138,623 metric tons of petrol for 16 days consumption, 207,841 metric tons of diesel, equivalent to 19 days, and 150,398 metric tons of jet fuel, equivalent to 49 days.
Corruption and pilfering of public.
To sustain supply, Kenya continues to rely on steady imports under the government-to-government framework. Monthly demand stands at 255,000 metric tons of petrol, 170,000 metric tons of diesel, and 80,000 metric tons of jet fuel. Deliveries already in the pipeline for March through April are expected to boost stocks further, with 290,000 metric tons of petrol covering 47 days, 182,900 metric tons of diesel covering 20 days, and 60,000 metric tons of jet fuel covering 25 days.
The crisis.
On pricing, Mbadi insists consumers may not feel an immediate impact. Current pump prices remain at 178.28 shillings per litre for petrol and 166.54 shillings for diesel, levels set before the escalation of the Middle East conflict. To contain the pressure, the government is turning to the Fuel Stabilization Fund at 17 billion shillings, available to cushion customers for up to 3 months, alongside possible tax and levy adjustments.
We're looking at that other alternatives. So the worst case scenario is that the war progresses for inordinately too long, and in which case then it will disrupt. There will be this continued disruption of the supply chain.
However, industry players warn the reality on the ground may be more fragile than it appears. The Petroleum Outlets Association of Kenya says that while the country has physical fuel stocks, a pricing mismatch is locking out a critical part of the supply chain. Independent dealers are struggling to access fuel, with some stations, particularly in rural areas, already running dry.
Independent petroleum dealers, who make up about 68% of the distribution market within the country, are not able to access this product because the companies that have participated in the importation of this are not able to sell to us for one reason or the other, citing maybe most of them are not very comfortable with the subsidy program that might follow.
The association cautions that Kenya cannot escape global trends, pointing to fuel price increases of up to 25% in the United States, 20% in Europe, and 11% across parts of Asia. It now warns local prices could rise by between 20 to 30% once global costs fully filter through.
I foresee an increment of maybe 20 to 30%. I just saw yesterday Tanzania increase their prices, and we expect that when it comes to the statutory mandated date for April to announce prices, that is on 14th, I expect that there will be a price adjustment that will be commensurate to the percentages that we are seeing across the world.
For now, the government maintains that it is backing on diversification of supply routes, expansion of alternative export markets, and targeted interventions in key sectors. Victor Ngaruya, NTV.